Yn oedig noch yn ei, agus yn irin y dol yn eich, dy fwyl yn dŵn le hard facha y glwhe cianna siola. Clwhe gwrffair le pít, derwyd glana yn y fer.
Once you get this sort of 5-6 years of really, really heavy duty training, it takes its toll. Emotionally, physically, mentally. And maybe it's as simple as that.
Faced by Finbar Coffey, wave run by Marsden. This is a wonderful chance. Oh, a great goal for Armagh. But maybe Marsden can gather it. Oh, what a finish. And he scores. Happy people. The people of Armagh.
I mean, Armagh give us quite a thumping. On reflection, maybe that would have been the time I should have maybe bowed out in 1999.
Very simple, Pete. You cut him open, he's red and black. I mean, he's a down man to the absolute core.
That particular year, Down Miners won the All-Ireland, and there was obviously a number of very, very promising players coming through, the likes of Liam Doyle, Michael Walsh, Benny Coulter, Ronan Murda. We just weren't able to get the right blend and get the right dynamic and get the right chemistry. And the last couple of years, would have been quite painful.
Tá neart gradam agus cuine cáin cnúsathe ag Pete a gaham nam líon, agus tá ceannar le atá gardach rí.
In 1981, when I was awarded the Phillips Manager of the Year Award, which covers all sports in the country, I mean, past recipients were Jack Charlton, Mick O'Dwyer. To be awarded that particular accolade, it meant quite a lot to me. And the fact that, I suppose, in 1991, an Ulster team winning the All-Ireland for the first time in 23 years, it made a big impression on sport generally. I always felt that I was accepting these awards on behalf of the players, because at the end of the day, in any team situation, the players are the most important collateral, and anything that was given to me, I always accepted it really on behalf of the players and the work that they did and what they achieved on the field.
Tugtar túsáte leis tar rud nafil éon bhainte leis an bell.
Michael Collins was someone I had a lot of time for. I feel that he was a man who unfortunately died well before his time. I wouldn't say I modelled certain things on him, but there were certainly very valuable lessons there, particularly in team management. Whenever players, you have to hold them accountable somewhere down the line, and you have to be, I suppose, ruthless up to a point, but yet you have to be understanding. And somewhere in there, I think maybe I've learned quite a bit from his life and how he lived it and how he got things done.
Derek Peter as a gáhvíle sa dó, a gáhlín in Iesan, fu sé teirskint nar véle sé júl tú.
I must confess that I wasn't a massive fan of international rules. I would watch it and all the rest of it. But when the offer came to manage the team and to manage your country, then I was delighted and honoured to have the opportunity.
Tom Kelly looking at options, making a wonderful run through the centre. Here's a chance. Oh, over the ball. Here comes Corey Jones. He scored a goal last Sunday. He's going for a goal again.
In terms of an enriching experience, in terms of a life experience, in terms of developing as a person and taking on a different challenge and meeting different people, players from other counties, top-rate players, top-rate people, and to be involved in such a thing was terrific.
The McAnallen Trophy goes to Porrick Joyce and to Ireland.
Bhí Pete treise bheith rathúil lena chúntaí agus lena hír, agus beleor sonnastócha don gnághine. Ach ní gnághine Pete, agus ní raibh secha tos nó. Tá dáibhar le heag Pete lena ní Peter, duine a bhfuil ró lárnach aige a saola úncail.
You given any thought to the Friday night team?
Yeah, well, I've based it on training from Monday and Wednesday, and there's a lot of boys in good form at the minute, so there's going to be a bit of competition, particularly in the defence.
Peter is a nephew. He's been coming with me to matches, and even in my last year or two with Down, he was coming to training sessions. He would have been 8 or 9 then.
I now live with Pete full time, and it sort of has gone from spending nights at training to staying weekend nights when I had no school. It became that I ended up getting essentially kicked out of my own room in the house by my younger brother and spending more and more nights in Pete's.
His mother and father and other family members lived close by, not as if he was separated from them in that sense. And I know there is an old Irish custom of fosterage, where people did go to live with uncles and aunts. Apparently this is part of an ancient Celtic tradition. Maybe subconsciously we were doing that.
He's not married, hasn't any children of his own, so I was nearly an adopted child in a way.
The whole pattern of my life and my relationships with other people were always based on football. I think when you look back, and anyone looks back in their lives, yes, things could have gone in different directions, and you would say, what if I'd done this rather than that? But life's a one-way ticket. You get one shot at it, and football has been central, it has been pivotal, it has been, integral to what I have become, and that's it. I have no regrets at all.
Most of the time we talk, it's about football. And most of the time we don't talk, it's because of football. And obviously with football being such a central part of Pete's life, then it naturally became something that I was very, very interested in.
I wouldn't always take his advice, or I wouldn't always agree with him. That's a good thing. But he certainly would be someone that I can knock ideas off and talk to about decisions and issues, and say he's pretty mature and pretty knowledgeable. Very tidy.
Deirí go hanahhaile Pete mar bhainisteoir an dúin faoi fé héin, agus tá anna thiúnaige na bliana 2009 go háirithe.
Of all the teams that I have trained, and I said this publicly, that under-21 team of that season is the team that I probably have most admiration for. Myself and the other selectors knew that they were a pretty good team, but they weren't going to be world beaters, so we decided on an all-out attacking strategy.
Kevin Kane for Bromore, and shot again Timmy Hanna and Captain. Shots a cool chop, Argus cold, Hernando. Conor McGeonish, Hogan Cheshire Queen score. Argus on score. On Zipperham, Shin next the Grouch, Contendo.
Deirí leis an gurchuige spón gúil seo, agus bhain idir chluthe ceannis na héir na machanaigh chorcaí, rabhfuil láidir na cutíonteachta.
So we come here today with a good team and a team of character, but realise that Cork are obviously a very fine side as well, and we're expecting, a tough encounter. At half-time we were behind by 3 points, and we're just hanging on. Cork should have been further ahead. We're just hanging into the game. Second half, the team played brilliant football. Brilliant, really, really brilliant football.
Fitzpatrick, agus áideanta go hórta Sean Turner, des ótach chón, again, Eamon Turner, Stephanie Turner, Farachónig Shachwood, Hannah, shots ótach chón, agus sin, clúiseach ótach.
And you're deep into injury time, and you're 2 points ahead.
Agus an cluthe beag nach hart, bhí an chumar an scéal go bhfuil an bheartdéantaigh Peter ríist, ach an son bhfuil tobastiad.
Na Driscoll Puigge, Driscoll, shots at the chórta, a great final. Colin Driscoll le báide. Tá déanta party bhór a butléise, cluthe 4 ghramadóin, siar amach na héir.
Despite the fact that you've lost an All-Ireland final with literally the last kick of the game, there were other matches that I've lost, but that I felt much more disappointed about. If someday, even if it's the final, you're caught just on the line, if you're caught, well, you got to say, well, that's football, that's life.
Cuireadh leis an DMR faic na himire, nuair a tugadh an teteachta an bhliain dar giún, de fast chintir an dúin.
People knew that I was very keen to give the senior job another another go. Spoke to the subcommittee who were involved in making the decision. Time went on, but 3 weeks later, then the position was announced that James McCartan was getting the position of team manager. I wouldn't say I was traumatised by it, but it was a very disappointing time. Subcommittee or county board generally, they didn't really. I don't think they came entirely clean with me. I think quite possibly they had their decision made even before they talked to me.
It was something that made him really question a lot of what he had done with Down and how it had been really valued by people in the county.
You forgive and forget, because 2 years later I was managing the county minor team, so it wasn't prepared to hold grudges or hold it against people, because if you're holding grudges, then the only person suffering is yourself, really.
Is cuid dílis do héal Peter an creidimh agus teintear affran go chéan lá.
Faith and prayer and belief has been important. I think, like everyone else, one can struggle with one's faith, and different times in your life you question. And I suppose that's what faith is about being there for the long haul and accepting the good with the bad and trying to see the bigger picture. I remember saying to the players one night at training, we were doing shooting practice, and I said to them, look fellas, shooting is a bit like faith. If you don't practice it, you'll lose it. So you try and tie it in. Faith isn't just about coming to a chapel. It isn't just about going to mass. Faith, I think, embraces everything. It embraces work, it embraces football, it embraces your relationships with other people, and it's a part of it. And I feel without that part, without the part of the ritual in my life, there would be that little bit of a lack of stability. It provides that constant, that source of strength that we all need at different times. That something you can't get from within yourself, you then get from another source. And maybe that's what my faith does for me and does to me.
I gábhíl sa ceithrdíag, chuig fermanach an tean chuntain ar bhuaig creibháil a riamh I muín pís bhaile sláánú. Treis bliana sacrúisteach, thug sé fuireann ina bhún le hain.
It gave him energy, it gave him a renewed vigour and a renewed sense of a totally different challenge than what he had at club level for the previous 8 or 9 years.
Bhí sogam go jocail leis rud ag an specialta a dhéanú leo, agus tá ard cibhne agus bheas ag imróirí agus muintir armánach Pete McGrath, mar gheall cinneal ar an crot a thug sé dóibh, ar an alsiúnach nua a thug sé dóibh.
The players bought in very quickly to the environment that we were trying to create.
Works its way through to Quigley. Sean Quigley. Much more like it. They're in here. Corrigan. This to Sealand. A moment of magic. So Fermanagh are going back to Croke Park, back to the All-Ireland quarter-finals for the first time since 2004.
Nero in Intas orm Tahimera nor Honic Megrochik John and Rod Kierna le Fermanagh agus a rinse leis an dún.
We got promoted from Division 3 to Division 2, and we ended up playing an All-Ireland quarter-final in Croke Park against Dublin. And people didn't give us a chance. Printed media or the TV media, it would be a kind of a massacre.
Then goes long with the ball in towards Bernard Brogan. He's in. Goal written all over this, and it is a goal. Wonderful skill from Connolly. That is an absolutely fantastic point.
In the second half of that game, the Fermanagh team, the Fermanagh squad showed what they were capable of doing. The quality of football that they were capable of playing on the big stage.
Sean Quigley. Quigley has got that. Damien Kelly's strike, and Sean quickly puts Stephen Cluxton into the back of the net. And the goal stands. Marty O'Brien has taken up a great position at the end for another goal. That was Jack McCaffrey's challenge, and it runs loose. It's in the back of the net. By Tomas Corrigan from Anna, but they didn't fear anyone.
That's for sure. Been a wonderfully enjoyable afternoon. Second half in particular, their refusal to give in to Dublin, it's, to their eternal credit.
After the game yesterday, Fermanagh supporters applauded the team, and the team applauded the supporters. And it maybe wasn't so much for what they had done on that day. It was maybe for the journey that they'd given the supporters throughout that season. If I brought anything to them, I'd like to think it brought a sense of confidence, a sense of direction, a sense of belief that they were every bit as good as any other group of players in the province.
Níor chríoch na gréifse le Fermanagh mar bhhaile pís. Bhí dromhlína có a 2016 agus cé gur léirigh bord a chuntaí a dacíocht. Bhí ahrú a tastáileos na himiróí.
There were a number of players who felt that maybe a change would be a good thing. And maybe it could have been handled better on their part, but I don't hold any grudges, or I don't hold it against them, and they wanted to go another direction. That's fine. They're young men. Their inter-county career only lasts so long, and if they feel that a change would be good for them, then that's fair enough. That's life. There's no grudges. My time there was very fulfilling. Great people, great players, and looking back, I'm more than happy that I took that job. I got a lot out of it, and I'd like to think that they did.
Tréiste tasnúach mar bhainisteoir le fuair an fé sédí agras teabhar, tá Peter Nash mar a dosna sé le na chuman maoineach mar bhainisteoir na sínsir.
It was always in my wish list, if you like, to manage my own club at senior level. So, as usual, that's a good application, right? Focus. No matter what it is you're doing, do it as well as you possibly can. Shooting. If you're managing your own club, then that's a totally different experience from managing an outside club, because there's much more intimacy. The players that you're dealing with, you may have played with their fathers, their uncles, you know their in-laws, and you know their background and all the rest of it. Get it up, lads. Try and get it up to the man's chest as he's moving. Good, firm striking. Confident striking. I'm enjoying it thoroughly, because for a number of reasons. I think any manager enjoys any team he's working with if he sees there's potential. It's good, lads. Keep it going.
For Pete, football is the central thing in his life. It always has been, and at this stage I think it's fairly safe to say it always will be.
Pace. Generate pace. Good. Keep recycling. At least it was a point, Finn. Finish it out, lads. Finish it out.
He can't stop, and he won't stop. I don't think it's in him to stop. He just absolutely adores everything that he's doing with it.
It becomes a very important part of the whole tapestry of your life. It maybe becomes that thread that runs through your life that holds so many other things together.
Bottom line, Pete's a very decent human being. He's a very good man. He's a decent man, which is a great accolade for anybody to carry and to be looked upon.
He'll be remembered as someone who had never any problem giving of his time selflessly for whatever the cause, if he felt he could make a difference or help anybody.
This year, we vindicated 1991, and yesterday we proved that we were no one-year wonder.
Pete will be remembered with complete love and affection and respect.
Gachla, Janan she re, suas gaji bar sleva, gaji an cloch more. agus ségol suas an clochsin Gian clochsin beidir gohfuil sé ag smíú ar na léthe iontacha a bhí aige ach beidir nach bhfuil ach go bhfuil sé ag smíú ar beidir na rudaí go jocha leis i dheanú sa tíochaí.
I would like to think that the players that I come into contact with, that those players would look back and say that he did the best for us. And if players can say that we had some great days together and we'll be grateful for that, then that would be enough. That would be enough.